As Daniel is reading this, and we talked about him collapsing and all of this that physically happens to him and psychologically, probably, right? That if he's hearing this and seeing this, there's an emotional reaction that he's having that's probably triggering the fainting spell in his body. So, what personal message does he receive from the angel Gabriel that kind of gives him comfort or inspiration?
Yeah, and I think that the message he received is also a message that we can take personally. Right. So I'm gonna borrow the message that the angel gave. So in Daniel 23, 9:23, in chapter 10, and two other places in chapter 10, we get the same verbiage. Okay, so Amplified version says,
yes. Let me use that. That's a much better.
Because it's so rich, right?
It is. It's
so rich. The angel tells him, "For you are highly regarded and greatly beloved." Highly regarded and greatly beloved.
Yeah.
You know, to me, that's saying, listen, I got you. You're not forgotten. I'm including you. You're considered, but again, doesn't that go back to relationship? Like, do you just tell anybody on the street? You be in Publix. You tell the person in the line behind you, hey, you start talking to them. Yeah, you are good. You are highly regarded. I don't know you.
Yeah.
I don't know you, so I can't say that to you.
Yeah, at all.
And so I think that's very personal for God to send that message to him, to let him know, listen, I see you. You're important to me.
Yeah.
Even though I'm giving you some heavy content, it's for a reason. I trust you with this. So I think that's and I feel like I want to borrow that message because again, going back to this chaotic world that we're living in. Sometimes you can feel forgotten. You can feel like you're getting lost in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like, God.
No, that's real.
Especially when it comes to the people of God and things happening, you know what I mean? People who are out here working on behalf of God. And it just feels like, how many people have we lost over the last 3 years? You know what I'm saying? You're like, really, God? Like, why, why is this happening? That kind of thing. But remembering that how God sees us, we are greatly, highly regarded and greatly beloved. And that is a fact. That is truth over lies. Truth over lies. Yeah.
And the beautiful part about that is, and as we connect this to the judgment, is that's what he sees when he looks at us. Right, like it's not It's not my insufficiency. It's not my inadequacy. It's not my past. What he sees, because Daniel had sins. Daniel was not Jesus. Daniel had sins, and that had to be forgiven.
Right.
There's a reason a man prays 3 times a day. Right.
There's
some struggle. There's some obstacles, both internal and external, that he's dealing with. So he had those things. But what God saw when he looked at him was that you are highly regarded and greatly beloved. Over 3 verses, 9:23, he tells him that. 10:11, he tells him that. 10:19, he tells him that. He shares that with him, that Daniel, I've investigated your heart. I've investigated your mind. I know what you used to be. I know what you could be. And what I want you to know is that you are greatly beloved. There's no need to fall and faint, because I didn't come here with condemnation.
You're right.
I came here with a special message to let you know that you are highly regarded and greatly beloved. So again, it's about the teacher, not the taker. Daniel, when he runs into this situation that's overwhelming for him, that's too big for him, that's too great for him, and the angel comes with an encouragement and comfort, it's not about what's wrong with him. It's coming to tell him how God truly feels about him. And like you said, this is something we can package up and carry with us, because he's not a respecter of persons, right? So it's not what Daniel accomplished before with Nebuchadnezzar and Darius and Cyrus and all of them. No, it's who he is and what is in his heart. And that's what God saw. That's what God spoke to. And that's how God feels about each and every one of us. And that's something I think that we may forget, because you made a good point of seeing all of these people, especially now. Like if you go on TikTok, there's a bunch of inspirational leaders. If you go on YouTube, there's a bunch of inspirational leaders, and you're like, how do I play a part in this small pond called Huntsville where I can make a difference, right? And why call me? But God said to a man who was probably a eunuch, who lost the things that made him valuable in society. God saw that even though they may have taken that from you, you are highly regarded and greatly beloved. So
that's amazing.
It's not what they stole. It's what God gave him and who he saw him to be. So I love that. I love that verse.
Yes.
I love that verse. So let's